Hi, this is Kathleen with my Happy Stamping Place, and today we're going to be making a Christmas card. This is one we're making in my hybrid monthly stamp club for November 2023, and we're going to show you how that's made with the Merriest Trees bundle. So without further ado, I'm going to turn you down to my desktop and we'll get started. All right. So this is the card we're making, and this one used the stamps from the stamp set and the dies. I'm going to primarily, for this version of the card, be using the dies. When I send make and take packets for the virtual members of my stamp club, we primarily use the dies, so that's why I'm going to make a version like that. They're meant to be used together, but they're just very versatile. So we're starting with a basic white card base, standard size. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at the 4 1/4. We're just going to go ahead and fold that in half. And then I'm going to take a bone folder and just burnish it, give it a little bit crisper edge. And then the base or the backdrop here is Lost Lagoon. It's a beautiful color and it pairs so nicely with the soft or the pool party that we're using as well. So to show you how that's done, I'm going to pull this aside for a minute. Bring in my emboss and die cut machine and my base. So according to my base, which is the number one here, it shows you how to sandwich when you're doing a 3D embossing folder, which is what this is. So according to this, you're using plate or base 1, and then we're putting our embossing folder in here with inside of the folder. This is my Lost Lagoon, and because it's a 3D embossing folder and not just a regular one, you need specialty plate 4, and that's all that you need to send the 3D through. This is a thicker plate than the regular plates, and you'll feel a lot of tension, and that's precisely what you need to send this through. So when you're done, because it's 3D, it just really pops off the cardstock. Just, you can really see that it really has an impact, which I love. I wanted to show you where this comes from. It's actually part of a 3-part bundle, and it's called Online Exclusives. Those are products that you'll only find online. They aren't in a printed catalog, so you'll find that on my website, Kathleen at myhappystampingplace.stampinup.net, or just go to stampinup.com. And what you'll find is the basic 3D embossing folders, and it's a set of 3. So it comes with, of course, these dots, but it also comes with one that's more of a floral and one that is kind of cross hatches, and I'll show you what those look like on cards. So the floral is this all over pattern, and then the cross hatches look like this. So this is on a masculine card. It lends itself very well to that, but so many uses. So these are the 3 that come in the bundle for $30 in the online exclusive, which is a good deal. So it works out to be $10 a folder, which I think is a savings off of what is normally 3D. And there's one other thing I wanted to point out in the catalog. This is our annual Stampin' Up! Catalog, and in here you will find that there are some folders that are normal embossing folders, regular ones, and then there's some that are 3D. And what you'll find is if they're 3D it'll say the name of the folder with 3D right behind the name. So like Painted Posies 3D. This is Raindrops. It doesn't say 3D after it, so this is not 3D. So some are 3D, some are not. So I just wanted to point that out. You will find that in the catalog verse, you know, whether they're 3D or not, that's how you tell. All right. Okay, so again, we're making this card and we're going to do some die cutting. I've got a couple of the pieces die cut already. This is from the Deckled Rectangles dies. Comes in various sizes. I wanted just a bigger backdrop. The tag itself comes from the Merriest Trees bundle. There's a tag inside it, so there's that. But I wanted kind of layered with it. I wanted something bigger than just the tag. It just didn't seem like enough to me. So that's why I added the Deckled Rectangles. I've got a tree already pre-cut out of the shaded spruce. And some of the pieces, let's see. Yeah, most of the pieces. So I want to show you, there is a piece or a greeting that I want to do here. It's to you and yours, and that's in the stamp set that goes with it, this little one here. Just wanted a little one that was going to peek out a little bit from the tree. So I've got that loaded up on a block already, but this is where it comes from. And I'm going to stamp it on a piece of scrap basic white, and I'm going to stamp it in the shaded spruce since that's what the color of the tree was. Let me grab the shaded spruce. And then let's just stamp that. It's easier to stamp your greeting and then die cut it versus die cut and then try to fit your greeting on the stamp set. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to take, I needed to find one of my die sets that had a tag that would fit that appropriately. And the Stylish Shapes one is the one I ended up going with. And there's this, it fit really well with this little tag that's got like the flags on each end. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'll bring my die cut machine back in here to do this piece. Okay. Now this time I'm going to do my sandwich, and again it will tell me here I'm going to die cut. So I'm going to do the plate base A or 1, then I'm going to do plate 2, and we'll do a clear plate 3. Put my cardstock down with the greeting, and I want to center it. Now I don't want this to move on me, so I want something to hold it down. I'm just going to grab a Post-it note that I have handy here. And then another plate 3. And then we'll send it through. That's for die cutting, that's always the sandwich. And then when we pull it out, we have our little tag here. Okay, so now I can put all this aside. All right, let's bring my paper back in and start assembling this. Okay, so I'm going to take my embossing folder, and I like to use liquid glue when I attach an embossing folder because the liquid glue can get into the grooves and the dips and dives of it, and then it will stick better for you. Whereas if you use tape, it kind of skims over the surface of it, if that makes sense. So I like to use our Tombow Monet multi-liquid glue. Plus, you have a little bit of forgiveness time to shift if it doesn't land exactly where you want it to. But it does dry fairly quickly, and Once it's down, or once it does dry, it's very strong, which is what you want. I'm just going to shift it a little. Looks like I do need to shift it a little. Okay. All right. Now let's bring in some of our other pieces. I want the tag and the rectangle to both be popped up, so I will use my Stampin' Dimensionals to do that. So I'll just take and put, I like to use, for this size, I'll probably use 5, 1 in each corner, 1 in the middle. And I'm gonna pretty much center that. And next I'm gonna take my tag, but first I'll build my tree on top of it. So I have my tag, and I have my tree, and I want my tree to be a little off. I don't want it covering that tag. I'm gonna have it be a little off center there. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down. Well, I take that back. First I want to get the tree base down. Now this is a die cut. It's got some embossing, and it die cut it as well. Gives it some texture, like how that would be in real life. I like the look of this. And again, I'm using my liquid glue to place this down. Now that I have this down, I can go ahead and adhere this, and then I'll build the rest of my tree. See, kind of kitty wampus a little off center like that. All right, and then inside here, let's see, I want to take my tag to you and yours and kind of get it poking in there. So I should do that now before this tree totally sets. Just kind of have it sticking out like that. And then I've die cut all these different little ornaments. I'm going to show you on this set. It comes with 3 sets of the ornaments. So you could die cut out 3 sets at a time, so 9 ornaments at a time. When I made my original card, what I did is I stamped the ornaments, and then these will fit around it and die cut them. Oh, here we go. So you stamp them and die cut them. This doesn't come around them quite right, but that's what these were. I stamped them and die cut them, if you can see that. But we're just doing them solid here on this tree. But first I want to take, and I've got this little garland banner that I want to go on my tree. Now I did it kind of jauntily off, but you could also do it straight across. Maybe we'll change it up a little bit. We've got the 3-strand up here. Just want to dry fit it first before I commit. Do another one here. Oops. Another one up here. Yeah, that looks good. I wanted to point out, now because this is really tiny, I could put liquid glue on the back of it, but you know, you have the danger of it, of course, oozing out the sides. This is a good candidate for the adhesive back sheet. So I went ahead for those in my group that are virtual and that received a kit. I put the adhesive back sheets on the cardstock and then die cut it. So the tricky part is catching that edge. So I have my take your pick tool. I'm going to see if I can just catch an edge and peel off that backing. That is probably the hardest part of it all, because this is so tiny. Where are you? Just catch that edge. Come on. Let's try it on some of the bigger, longer pieces, see if I have any better luck. Oops. Feel like I'm all thumbs right now. Let's see here. Maybe it's easier with the adhesive because right now, there we go. Ah, good. So once that adhesive back is off, you can lay it down where you want it. That's kind of nice. Let's see if this one gives me as much business. I'm folding it in half to see if I can get it to kind of come loose for me. I don't want to tear it either, so I'm trying not to be too rough with it. There we go. Now let's place it down here. I kind of like it having a little bit of an angle. Okay, let's fold this one in half. I can see the edge here. Getting a little better at that. Let's bring you up here a little. And then this one's probably going to be the most difficult because it's the smallest. Let's fold you in half. See if I can catch an edge. Ooh. I think I got it. Yay. This might be the hardest part of the whole project. Doesn't that look great with the garlands? Next, now I'm going to go to my liquid glue. And I'm just going to take the ornaments in the different colors. Put a dot of glue. You can do it this way and put it down, or I'm going to do a different way here for the next one. I'm going to put a dot of glue on here, and then I'll take the other end of my take your pick tool, the putty end, and pick one up with that and place it down, and that is easier. Do it again with, let's see, we'll do a little bit different shape, I think. That one. I'm just going to alternate colors of ornaments. Let's put a round one of you here. Whoops. And then we'll do a yellow one. And I guess we need another red one. Let's do this shape. And I don't know if we're going to need all of them. So what comes after red looks like our pattern is blue. So let's put you down. Turn you around. Let's see if do we want another one? Yeah, I think we do. Okay, then I have another piece. There's several different stars that you could use for the top of the tree. I decided to use this one. This looks like the star that was in the sky when the three kings were following the star to find Jesus. We're going to use it for the top of this tree. And this came off a lot easier than that garland did. There, cool, huh? That's the top of the tree. Next up, we're going to put ribbon, and I will tell you, the ribbon I wanted to use is on its way to me, but I don't have it yet, and that is the silver and white on page 77 of the mini catalog, the September through December 2023 one. It's white with like silver edging. I thought that would look so pretty with this, but I don't have it. So now I'm using a retired white ribbon, crinkled seam binding ribbon. But I'm going to do that on the top of my tag. So I'm just going to cut a length of that. Okay. I like to feed it through when it's folded in half and take a loop and feed it back through it, the other pieces, like that. And that's probably too long, so I'm going to trim that back a little. Now, one thing I forgot to do on the rectangle piece was wrap the silver cord around it. And again, I have silver cord on its way to me, but I don't have the current stuff. So I used some retired silver cord. And it's just a little bit different than what it is, but it should give, I think, a similar look. But I forgot to wrap it